Today I am doing another book-related video. Today I am ranking all of my Suzanne Nelson books. So I have quite a big collection, but please keep in mind that I do not have all of her books. So this is a ranking of only my personal Suzanne Nelson books and not all of Suzanne Nelson's books. So with that in mind, let's begin. We're going to start with the book I like the least, and that is Donut Go Breaking My Heart. This book is about, let me see, I'm going to turn it around to the back. This book is about a girl named Shada, and she loves helping out at the kitchen that is called Donalicious, and she also loves designing sets. Yeah, so she's like a behind the scenes person. She doesn't like to be in the spotlight. She's a girl who wants to be like a behind the stage set piece designer. But it turns out later in the book that Cabe Sadler is who's like a movie star, is filming his next movie inside Donalicious, her bakery, and she is the one that gets chosen to be the main character / actress instead of her friend who wants to do it, and her friend's name is Curie. So her friend Curie wants to be the one to do it, and Shada doesn't, but Shada ends up being the one getting picked for it. And as you can probably imagine, Shada and, sorry, I'm really bad with names. Shada and Cabe end up falling in love, and there's a bunch of drama about Shada trying to overcome her stage fright. And so, yeah, I mean, this book, but don't get me wrong, it's a really good book, but compared to her other books, I just find it mediocre, but it's still a really good book. I still would give it a 5 out of 5. Don't get me wrong, I recommend this book a lot. But compared to her other books, if I'm being super picky, which I have to for this video, it's not as good as her other books. Next one is Pumpkin Spice Up Your Life. I really enjoyed this book a little bit better than I did Donut Go Breaking My Heart. So this is about a girl named Nadi and her best friend and future boyfriend, Daniel. And they are best friends working at the Snug Ugg coffee shop, where their specialty is, as you can guess, pumpkin spice lattes. And there's a lot of family drama around this one, because Natty's mom left her and her dad when she was just a little girl, and so she always tries to, well, she's very depressed about that, and she always hopes that she will come back, and she, like, waits for her mom to come back, which is really sad. But she finds out one day that her mom actually wants to meet with her, and obviously at first she doesn't want to do it, and she has to kind of like warm up to the idea of that. And while at the same time, she loves to play the cello, and so she's trying to get further in with the cello, and she's trying to like enter like a concert and stuff while managing her feelings for Daniel at the same time. So there is that book. I would also, I'm going to say right now, all of these books get a 5 out of 5, but I'm just being super picky with this video because I kind of have to. Next is Sunday My Prince Will Come. I loved this book. So this book basically is about this girl named Maylee. She loves ballet, but she works in a Sunday ice cream parlor, and her mom is not supportive of her at all, especially with her dream for ballet. So they don't really have a good relationship. But then she meets a guy named, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce his name, Alzono. I'm just going to say it. He meets a guy named Alzono, who is very supportive of her dream of ballet, and also very cute. So as you can imagine, they develop a relationship, have feelings for each other, and he helps her stand up to her mother and gain her mother's support. And it's just a really sweet book. And of course, they ended up falling in love. And it's just, I really liked this book. I really liked the story of like I just really like how powerful Meili is as a character, and I really like that dynamic between her and her boyfriend. I think it's really sweet, and it was a really good book. Alright, next one is Hot Cocoa Hearts. I love this book so much. It is a Christmas book, so keep that in mind. You should probably read that around the holidays. This is a book about a girl named Emily. Sorry, I can never say that right. And Emily is absolutely not a holiday person. She's kind of like a Grinch. She really hates the holidays. She thinks there's no point to it, and she doesn't like it at all. And things make matters worse when she's forced to work as an elf at the mall, which obviously is her worst nightmare. But she meets a guy named Alex who is the total opposite of her. He's like Santa Claus. He loves holidays, loves Christmas, and he tries to, like, bring out her holiday spirit, which at first she is not a fan of, but over time she comes to realize that she doesn't hate the holidays or Alex as much as she thought she does. So, yeah, obviously they get together and she comes to form her Christmas spirit. So that's what the book is about. I really love it. That one scene where they fall asleep together on the couch in front of the fireplace. Oh, it's so cute. I love this. Okay, top 3, we have You're Baking Me Crazy. This is a really, really amazing page-turner of a book. So this book is about a girl named Tessa, and she loves working at the food truck that her aunt runs. And she's like a really amazing chef. Notice this is the first book that I have personally in Suzanne Nelson's collection that talks about food rather than baked goods. So that's interesting. I thought that was really unique, and I liked that. But then she meets a guy named Asher, and he's like the popular boy, doesn't know how to make food at all, super rude, super arrogant. They hate each other right away, and yes, this is like a hate-to-lovers trope, which I love. That's my favorite trope for romance, so obviously I love this book. And they have to learn to work together and develop feelings for each other in the end, so that's this book. Okay, top 2, Macaroons at Midnight. This is such an amazing book. This is an insta-love book. It's basically about this girl named Lise, or is it Lisa? No, Lise. It's about this girl named Lise who basically in midnight, one night, goes into a macaroon shop, and she meets this guy named... Sorry, I'm like really bad with names. Well, we find out what his name is later in the book, but I'm not going to spoil that. She meets a guy that she and the guy, like, instantly fall in love with each other. Like I said, this is an insta-love book. They immediately fall in love. They're about to kiss, but then, the main character, Lisa's dad comes and, like, takes her back home, and they don't get to exchange numbers. And then she has to find him again at her school. And it turns out that he is going to her school, but he's nothing like the person that she thought he was when they shared a macaroon together at midnight. And she doesn't really like him anymore, and they don't get along anymore. And so they have to, like, rekindle their love and find out if they actually like each other, or if it was just like an instant attraction and there was no real chemistry there. And there's this whole side plot about Lisa's best friend liking this guy, and so she feels like she has to hide her feelings, and there's a lot of drama going into it. In the end, obviously, they admit their feelings to each other and get together, and the friend has to be okay with it. But yeah, a very dramatic book, lots of drama, but very, very romantic. I highly recommend this book. Okay, my number 1 favorite book that Suzanne Nelson has written so far is Cake Pop Crush. Oh my goodness, I love this book so much. So this is about a girl named Alyssa. She loves baking at the bakery Say It With Flour, and her favorite thing to bake are cake pops, hence the name. She loves making cake pops, and she is, like, that's her specialty, is cake pops. But a bakery opens across the street, and she meets a guy named Dan who's working there, who's also an exceptional baker of cake pops and coffee, just like her. And so she immediately has competition because people start going to Dan's store rather than her store. And So they immediately hate each other. Again, this is like a haters to lovers trope, and I really like that. But she starts to realize that Dan has some deep dark secrets that he isn't willing to tell anybody about his toxic family life with his dad, who's constantly traveling around and maybe isn't the best to him. And he opens up about his dad to Alyssa, and they form a friendship, and in the end they develop feelings for each other, but they have to compete in a bake-off to see who is the better baker, and she doesn't want to anymore because she likes him. So, but yeah, lots of drama. But in the end, obviously, they get together and it works out. I'm not going to tell you who wins the bake-off because I want you to read the book, and I'm trying to make this as spoiler-free as possible. So there you go, guys. That is me ranking all of my Suzanne Nelson books that I own. I hope you enjoyed this video. I highly recommend Suzanne Nelson. She is an amazing author. And so I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!